State of New California. Notice to all Californians. Chapter 2, Grievance 46, March 9, 2021. New California is a new state in development, exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Sections 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The new citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in the United States Constitution, Article 4, Sections 3 and Section 4. Quote, "We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States," end quote. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15, 2018 states, quote, "Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority, and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under such absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security." Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, "We, the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberties to ourselves and our posterity." The First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances," end quote. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." The counties of New California State brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State will issue 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. State of New California Grievance number 46. Declaration of Grievance, Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government violates the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, quote, "The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence," end quote. The United States Constitution, Article 6, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding." First Amendment, United States Constitution, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances," end quote. 14th Amendment, United States Constitution, Section 3, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. Order of the day: save our children. Open the schools. The main function of the state of California is to educate the children of the state. Education is the #1 priority of the state, and its financial assets are directed first and foremost to that end. Since March of 2020, the public schools of California have been shut down. The main reason given by the state is the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 virus pandemic will go down in history as the single largest worldwide hoax ever perpetrated on humanity. The devastating results of lockdowns, closures, and forced vaccines is just starting to be revealed. But nowhere has the devastation been more felt than on our children. Denied the fundamentals of a public education and the basic learning skills necessary to function in a free society, our children are beginning to not just speak out against the closures, but to scream. The loudest screams are coming from those children who commit suicide. More than 5.7 million K-12 California children, including more than 9 out of 10 public school students, were forced to stay home in March of 2020 after a majority of the state's school districts announced emergency closures to stem the coronavirus's spread. Los Angeles and San Diego Unified School Districts, which together educate some 750,000 students, the vast majority of the state's school children, were told not to come to school, a delayed reaction to the spreading pandemic. Later, it was revealed more than 670 of the state's 1,000 or so districts had shut down for periods ranging from 2 to 4 weeks. The number represented roughly 2/3 of the state's school districts, but the dictator governor said the percentage was misleading because the districts that remained open, most of them rural, are tiny with fewer than 2,500 students. In all, some 95% of the state's 6 million public school students have been impacted. In the 2 decades in which the state has kept records of emergency closures, no other event, including the devastating wildfires of 2018, has disrupted the education of so many Californians. Quote, "This is a temporary thing," unquote, said Christine K. Johnson, a professor of epidemiology at the One Health Institute at UC Davis. Quote, "If we do it well, we can manage this outbreak and continue to keep cases low," end quote, stated in March of 2020. Quote, "Closing schools would cause huge impacts to the entire community and put our most vulnerable populations at risk," end quote, said Kern County Superintendent of Schools Mary C. Barlow in a statement. Quote, "Our students, families, and community are relying on us to stay open as long as it is safely possible in order to receive essential services such as meals, health, and mental health services, and child care. Thousands of working parents in Kern County may not have provisions for child care and other services for their children outside of school," end quote. A year later, the science does not indicate there was ever a pandemic claimed by the California state leaders. But there sure are mountains of evidence of financial mismanagement and fraud that are the root cause of these closures. The COVID-19 virus has been a masking of the little dirty secret the dictator governor and the state legislature has been keeping from all Californians. The state does not have the money or the resources to open the schools anytime in the foreseeable future, and that includes the 2021-2022 school year. One takeaway of the closures, parents have been able to understand how much of our public schools have been serving as Marxist indoctrination and disinformation centers while masking our children as if they were slaves. The schools are not just serving to indoctrinate and misinform. They are serving to destroy the very fabric of our free society by not teaching the fundamentals of our God-given rights. California is headed for financial collapse as a state in just a few short months. as its trajectory is now set in stone by a craven dictator who chooses to violate both federal and state laws while ignoring the constitutional structure set forth by the founding fathers of the United States. Not ignored in New California State, the founding fathers are alive and well, today living in the hearts and minds of all new Californians. New California State's place in history as the 51st state in the Union is assured. Thank you, Founding Fathers. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor-dictator and monoparty system along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 and the Emergency Economic Powers Act are the United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. Acts of secession. The California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive, instituted wherever the current socialist governor-dictator has usurped power, has actively engaged in, quote, acts of secession, unquote, and have created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America and to thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Application of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor-dictator of California, the monoparty legislature, and the local elected officials is evidence of the abdication of their responsibility of authority and sovereignty over the citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the military to exercise its authority under the Continuity of Government and the Insurrection Act of 1807 to initiate the military's use of martial law and create the restored government of California as requested by New California State to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States of America. This concludes these proceedings. Website newcaliforniastate.com or ncs51.com. Phone number 877-828-2753.